Milepost 9-7. Old milepost, that is. There's a lizard crawling on the tracks there on the rail. A portion of the teeth. See all that rail there that they've just left? Another set of rail there. There's like tons of rail they could cut up and sell, because I think that's older rail that they just pulled off. Like they unspiked it and they just threw it off the edge. Or that could have been there since the last time the Southern Railway or Norfolk Southern decided to replace the rail and ties. There probably would have been a whistle sign or mile marker, one of the two. It's a pretty stretch of railroad, I'll say that. Oh, well. Probably part of a car or something. I don't know. Again, more rail. There's a little spot, there's a small spot on my big toe on my right side that's hurting. Really don't know why. I think it's gotten sore or something, I don't know. Just gotta keep on trucking. See the track ahead. Can't zoom in too far, otherwise the camera glitches out and freezes. I'm curious, who dropped paint? There's like sections of track where there's paint on it. Weird. I'm seeing a lot of rail. There's two sections. There's another. That's a good portion, length of rail, 2 miles worth if I had to guess. I know it ends there and then it starts again there. So I'm wondering if this is all track that they've ripped up and replaced over the past 20 or 30 years. This is left out here. This is actually the first time I've really ever walked on this old stretch of railroad track. There's a joint bar there. Hold on a damn minute. What is that right there? It's a huge piece of steel. I wonder if that's part of a train car. This is probably really stupid. Oh no, that's wood. Never mind. Oh. Yeah, just a point of reference. Don't do what I just did. That was really fucking stupid. It's a good way for me to break my foot instead of dealing with... Then I wouldn't be dealing with just a little sore spot. I'd be dealing with trying to get out of here with a hurt foot. That would be really bad. You can see another crossing down there. You probably walked about a mile, probably, or two, probably. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of scrap rail and whatnot that they could have kept, or they could have removed. Oh, now, that's interesting. There's one rise there, and then there's the cut right here, so that makes me wonder, was there a railroad bed right there before? It's wide enough for it to look like there was one. Let me walk over here real quick and just see. Yeah? It almost looks like there was a rail bed here. You can see a cut right here. You can see the width of it, and then there's another cut, and then you come out here to the ex-Southern this X and S line here. I say X and S because they were the last ones to utilize this track before they sold it to the owner of the Athens line. He also owns the Hartwell Railroad and the Great Walton Railroad, if I'm not mistaken. Hartwell runs from its namesake city through Royston, Livonia, and all those little towns. Great Walton, I know, goes to, I think, Social Circle. I don't remember. I'm one of the few people who ever really walked this thing. Yeah. See, there's a culvert right here where a culvert would be. Right here where this bank is. I wrote it out. That'd probably be where a culvert was. I'll be damned. That confirms there was a rail bed right here. That is a rail bed right there. And there's the proof of it. That's a culvert right there, and they would have put that underneath the railroad tracks. I'll be a son of a gun right there. That is either an old road or an old railroad bed. That culvert wouldn't be there if it wasn't. There's another older culvert that's rusted all to nothing. That's amazing. I will have to let Zena see this. So that means this was originally a double track main or another railroad that joined up here at some point. I'm going to walk back and look at this further. That's amazing. I mean, that looks like a rail bed anyway. I could be wrong. Yeah, look, this has the marking signs of the railroad bed. It's the same width. Really, there's the same depth. Open sesame. So this now begs the question. I'm standing in what is essentially an old rail bed, but does this mean that this was the location for the original set of tracks that was built here? Or does this mean that this may have been an old road that was closer to the tracks and then they moved it back? I don't know. There's no ties or no evidence remaining from when this was a rail line, if there was one here. But if it was another alignment, then that would mean this was where the original tracks were laid, and then later, I guess, they came and moved them over here. Or this may have been another railroad that interchanged at one point in time. But that looks like a railroad cut, so Zena, you might want to come out here and look at this. I may have just made a discovery for you. Another piece to add to the history of the museum. I hate it though, I haven't seen any old telegraph poles or insulators. So, that's a bummer. But I mean, if you look, you can see the land rising. The rise in land really, I mean, it makes me wonder, it really does, because that looks like a cut, a railroad cut. I mean, really, right there also, here's a good way of telling, look, you've got this cut here, and you've got this one right here, and there's a culvert pipe under this land, further down, that way. I might have found either the original the original bed that this track would have sat on at one time, or maybe the only evidence that there may have been another to prove that this could have been a double track main, or maybe evidence that another railroad once interchanged out here in the middle of the hinterlands somewhere. Which would be very, very interesting if that could be confirmed or not, but this looks like a railroad cut. I mean, if you look right there, there's proof right here. Ow! Fuck! Ow, I hit my finger. Having to use this tree for support, but you can see what looks to be a cut through the trees here. Now, let me try and slide down this. There we go. I don't know if there being any narrow gauge railroads, unless that might have been the roadbed for one, and I really don't know. But it has a similar width, but it has the same width and characteristics of an old rail bed. I mean, there's culverts. I saw a culvert pipe directly underneath, so I really don't know. Either it's that or an old access road, one like an old maintenance road that crews would have used to keep track of the track works and whatnot. In other words, unless that's a service road that the railroad would have used to send track gangs out here to work, I guess. I mean, that could also be what it is, but I don't know. If it's a rail bed, I'm amazed that it's still there. Question is, what railroad was there if it was a rail bed? And we have what looks to be what may have been an old crossing. So this may have been a road, who knows? Because you've got what's left of some asphalt all over here. And there wouldn't have been broken up pieces either. They wouldn't have just dumped this. That looks more like a road would have been here at one time or another. This is where I wish I had like a little hand car or a speeder. I don't know, that wouldn't really work. I know it's a pain to keep them running. Hand car, maybe not. It probably would be a pain to try and move it because you need 2 men to run it just to make it move. Or maybe a rail bike or whatever they called them where you could pedal. I don't know. You can see the rest of the main line going down there. Just looking back from where we walked. So I guess I'll see y'all later.